Welcome everybody to the Creative Journey series and inspirational channel on YouTube. My name is Rosemary Geralt and I am a relationship and life transformational coach from Cape Town, and I have been interviewing inspirational and creative people. I would like to welcome our very own Harley Babe, Valerie Ndluli.
Hi, good day. Thank you
Hi.
for having me, Rosemary. I really appreciate and I'm honored to be, part of the day today.
Well, I think without further ado, tell us your story. How did you become involved in Harley Davidson? Share your journey with us.
Passion started when I was still quite young. My father was actually a biker, so he owned a Harley Davidson and also a BMW as well. So I think, the passion has been with me for a while. And, I started showing interest, looking around on what's available and always loved it. And I started to ride or learn to ride rather in 2015. And I never looked back since. So I'm really loving it. I'm quite passionate, regarding the whole riding. And so I'm very, very excited to, and I'm not looking back. So, yeah.
Val, it's very interesting because Harley, they started off in 1901 in the States. And initially, their target market were middle-aged white men, sort of from the age of 45 or 49 and upwards. And now the world has changed. So how was that for you? Or was it quite normal for a beautiful black woman, or any woman, in fact, to join the Harley Club?
Rose, a lot of people were quite surprised. Actually, when I started around 2015, a lot of the people, it's actually still more white dominated, but there's still some black female riders. So it was quite nice. And, with the various clubs that I've been involved with, sometimes I'm the only, African girl. And so, but for me, it's about, the passion. And, besides riding itself, it teaches you a lot in terms of discipline, focus, and also just to say that anything is possible. So yeah, I'm still raising eyebrows, on the highways, wherever I go. Yeah, that, being a black female and with such a, massive bike, and you still get asked questions, is it yours? In terms of the biking community, it's actually such beautiful people. They give so much to the community, and also other organizations. And, sometimes people forget that we are professional people or professional women, that we're mothers. And, when they see me a biker, they think of someone with, heavy chains and things like that.
I know for a fact that Harley Davidson does enormous work within the community. So would you like to tell us about some of the rides you have done for the community, and maybe something that is linked to your pharmaceutical background? Have you found a link between farmer and Harley and their community work?
Absolutely. There's been a lot of rides that I've been involved with, and with others just to test the endurance. Like I've done a warrior princess ride, in the cookie run ride. So that's more like doing over 500 kilometers in a day. So I think, that's actually quite nice. But besides those types of rides, there's numerous charity rides that we do on a yearly basis, on a monthly basis, or quarterly basis. Though right now things have slowed down, but we've got like toy runs where we buy or get toys, for disadvantaged children or babies. And we do blanket rides as well, especially, when we move towards winter, we do that. and also giving, to old age homes, so there's been quite a lot that we've been involved with in terms of giving. But I think then if we look at the pharmaceutical or healthcare industry, I've done quite a few rides where we call them Cancer Vibe, or In Recognition for Cancer, or the Pink Ride, also for cancer, and also the International Female Rights. They are in support, we're raising funds towards the awareness of cancer. And I think the one that I'm most proud of, I've missed the previous one, but I've just done the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, just over a few months ago. So, just dressing dapper, looking like a gentleman, but in yes. So that's to create awareness of men's health, and also for prostate cancer, and also then with giving back, with riding. So there's lots of causes, or causes rather, that we actually support. So I'm very proud and excited, to always do something. It feels great. We make a difference. The people, they really appreciate, they love, the attention that the bikers bring.
I'm sure like a lot of young people will look up to the bikers as a role model and an inspiration. And I think specifically when it's women, then it's going to give a lot of young women inspiration and say, okay, I can do that as well. I can wear these gorgeous leathers and these boots, and I can look sexy with all the Harley Davidson fashion wear, where I think they do make a lot of money from that. And also Harley's vision was also to bring the leather jacket back. And I've seen the leather jacket with the fringes on the sleeves, and I mean, they're pretty stunning and unique. How many Harley outfits do you have when it comes to boots and jackets and medals and leather jackets?
I must say, Rose, I'm quite excited. My friends always tease me that, Val, you've got so much Harley stuff. As much as you look, especially with Harley, they've got beautiful gear. But more importantly, and also I know you asked a question earlier about, the leather jackets and things like that. As much as, I do have the ones with the bling, or with the Harley Davidson logos and all of that. But more importantly, as the reason we're wearing jackets or even chaps or the leather pants, it's the safety aspect as much as it's, it's the aesthetic part, but it's more for the safety.
It's quite interesting because Harley did very, very well in America. Then it went to Europe, and then the world market dropped. And that 60% of the world's population is in Africa, India, China. So, and very interesting to see how they then started targeting women. I have worked with many women that have really wanted to ride a Harley. All I know is I love that distinctive roar of the Harley engine. I know what that sounds like. And I know that you're not allowed to copy it.
February 2019, I participated in one of the most historic women events, and I'm so honored and proud to have done that. That was around February 19. Though the event was targeted, on women motorcycle riders. It started in Scotland. So what was quite interesting is that more than 3,500 women in over 79 countries, over 6 continents. I mean, you can imagine how fantastic and massive that was. So what they did was, women riding, together per country, per continent, passing a hand-carved baton from guardian to guardian and country to country. And I came here to South Africa. It was quite wonderful because women had, they rode in remote areas, whether it's urban areas, and sometimes in places like you've mentioned in India, where, they're supposed to cover themselves, but then now, they're on these bikes. So it was quite a special, momentous event.
To be part of something so big and so meaningful and so significant is incredible. It gives you a purpose as well, doesn't it?
It does, and that's what I'm saying. You know, you feel like you're making a difference. You're also meeting other women from other countries. You know, as much as we had the event here in South Africa, there's women that actually came all the way from abroad, and they decided to start in Johannesburg, moving with this baton, passing it across the borders, whether it's Zimbabwe to Namibia. So it's incredible, you know, the fact that we met so many women across different cultures.
There is something other than the Harley bike and the Harley lifestyle that would unite women. If you look at your Harley sisters, you know, your Harley babes in your life, what is the thread that pulls everybody together? What is that thing, that unwritten law or rule or thread that holds all of these women together?
I think, you know, it's you know, getting together. So mainly on a social level, getting to know each other, because we tend to be more like friends, more like families, and we've got the same interest. You sort of share the same passions, and you know, you get to know each other at another level. It's very therapeutic. So for us, it's something, you know, besides giving and enjoying the ride, but it brings us a lot because we do different things. Either, you know, there's people who dance together, who do other activities together.
And what you're saying is very powerful, because it's, you are who you surround yourself with. So it's basically a club. It's a group of like-minded women with the same purpose, the same outcome. And if you have a friend who doesn't understand biking, you know, you're not going to hang around with them, because they become toxic or might have preconceived ideas of what it is, you know, to be a Harley babe. So that is very interesting. And then what I was looking at, so when Harley was looking at men and women and the female market was growing, they were looking at how they were going to give each gender the right experience of freedom, because Harley's vision is to give the individual an experience of personal freedom. I think that is so beautiful, because freedom is liberating, isn't it?
It is, and you know, that's what I'm saying. After taking a ride in a day, whether it's a breakfast ride or you're just going out on a ride, you know, when you come back, you just feel so happy. So it's got those feel good hormones. It is freedom. So I always, you know, say that when you're driving a car, you know, it's like being in a movie. But when you're riding a bike, it's like you're starring in the movie. So I mean,
Oh, that
it's
is beautiful. I love that. So you're a movie star.
become such a better driver when driving a motor vehicle. So because you become so aware, you're so focused, you're so you know, on top of things.
It's a discipline within a discipline within a discipline within a lifestyle, within a mastermind, with just so many benefits. And I've seen, you know, like it seems as if the men are very protective over their Harley babes. They look after you.
They do. I'm glad you actually say that, because you know, when we ride either with a club or even when you do these women's, you know, like the Warrior Princess ride, we always are surrounded by men. You know, they teach you the skills, they support you, and that's why I'm saying it's a beautiful community. Actually, if you think about the support that they give you, so we always have these. If it's big rides, we have martial rides, and you know, for example, because the bike is over 400 kilograms, so it's massive. So
No
when you
wonder they
teach,
say, what is this little girl doing riding this
yeah,
400? Are you riding a 400-kilogram bike, Val?
it's over 300 kilograms, yes.
Wow.
And
Wow,
and
that is
so you get
impressive.
so you get moments when either the bike tips over, or sometimes you battle and you get you know, the men actually supporting you. And I must say, with the Harley owners group, especially with, you know, one of the best group is the Clearwater group. And those marshals, they're quite seasoned, they're quite good, and they teach you a lot of skills. Even when we do the advanced rider skills or slow rider training skills, they teach you. So they're quite protective, and they're there to teach you skills and support you. And I think one beautiful thing, that the bikers do. On the road, when you see another biker, you actually wave to them, or if you're holding on, then, you just tilt your head. So, and that's what I'm saying, wherever we are, we always greet each other. We treat each other with respect. That's taught me a lot of self-discipline. So in various aspects of my life. So that's what I'm saying. There's so much more to motorbike riding.
I just wanted to backtrack again, which I read where it said the right experience of freedom when they targeted men versus women. So a man had to feel strong, macho, independent. And this one goes without saying for women, sexy. All your photographs, you are so sexy and sizzling hot. Oh my word. Confident and empowered. And as you said to me, I'm thinking these things are coming through. So would you agree that's what that experience is to each gender?
It is true, though, I mean, a little bit on the gentleman's side, it also makes you feel good and strong, but not like muscular or whatever, but also you feel quite sexy, when sitting on that bike on the highway. I always say we want more women riders, so that we can beautify the highways. So it actually feels so great, when you're riding on the highway, and you've got all these people, taking pictures, waving, and looking at you, and especially looking at this petite girl on such a massive bike, so it's beautiful. So it gives you that, you feel so powerful, you feel so beautiful, you feel so sexy. Being on that bike, and especially, when other men look at you and thinking, wow, a woman. So it shows you that, so I do agree with that.
What is your most favorite race of all that you partake
Sure.
in?
A lot of them, but I think the most amazing one was when I went to Swakopmund in Namibia. So riding through different countries, so Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, then Namibia. So I mean, clocking over 5,000 kilometers. So for me, that was most memorable, as well as the fact that, when we got to Swakopmund, there were all these different bikers from different places in Africa, and some were international. So for me, that was very, very special. But I think also the fact that, it tested your endurance, your skills as a rider, and also, it's different than driving through these different countries. With the bike, it's different. Then you get to meet different people across different cultures. So for me, that was very, very special, and memorable. And riding.
How long was that race, Val? That ride? How long was
Sure,
that?
the whole trip. Okay, the ride itself was over 5,000 kilometers, but the whole trip was over a 2-week period. So we slept over in Botswana, we slept over in Zimbabwe, in Zambia. So, but also, being in those places, you actually enjoy the activities. With Namibia, then you get to to go to the big falls, or even in Zimbabwe. So you get to do different activities whilst you're still there. So that was quite special.
So Val, what is next for you? Are you going to get like a 600-kilogram bike, or what is next on the list for you?
I actually want a fleet of motorcycles. So I want more Harleys. So there's quite a few that I'm looking at. And one of my other favorite ones is the Sports Glide.
Yes.
So that one is quite nice. And I also like the BMW range as well. They've got the R18. It's actually fantastic. So it is a cruiser, but I actually want a fleet.
And why not
But
just one big club, or are there particular clubs in different suburbs or cities, or how does it work?
actually, sure, there's actually quite a lot of clubs. So you get what they call the Harley Owners Group, but with different clubs. For example, I started with the Clearwater Club. So that was based in the West Rand. So that was my first club experience. And there was also what they call the Joburg Club. I was part of that. So, they're quite similar. It's just that they always have these planned rides, these planned events to say that today we're going to maybe Paris, or we're going to Harley Beers at this particular restaurant on a Sunday. So they organize those events. But there's actually more clubs, per city. There's KZN Harley Owners Group. But besides so there's quite a lot of these clubs.
How many women are in your club? How many women riders are there?
Yeah. With if I look from the journey where I started, um, I would say just less than 100, if I'm not
Not
mistaken. So
bad.
more.
That's not
So
bad.
there's actually quite a lot of women. Though some are riders, but others are partners of the male riders. So, but there's that, family unity, and then we're getting more and more. So it's actually there's quite a lot of interest. But if I think about the recent Warrior Princess ride that we did this year, there were probably about 50 women. So that would be just in the Gauteng area. So there's
Amazing.
actually quite a lot. And I mean, like I mentioned with the women's worldwide relay, that, over 3,400 women worldwide. So there's quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Then Val, say for example, there's a young woman who would like to ride a Harley. What tips would you give them? How would they enter into this world of freedom, individual freedom, feeling
Um,
sexy, confident, and empowered,
yeah.
and looking good on the
Um,
back as well?
Yes. Yeah, we actually would love to have more women riders. So it's all about, self belief and self confidence. So if I can ride a Harley Davidson, any woman can. And also, it's never too late. So it doesn't matter whether you start young or old. And what's important is that you start taking, lessons. There's quite reputable coaches in Gauteng. Start taking lessons, start reading more about it. And I think the more you practice, the better. Because I didn't just jump on on a Harley Davidson. I actually started, it was so funny because I couldn't even ride a bicycle. I started on this small BMX. The features are quite funny, but it actually helped with the balance. And then I was trained on the Suzuki, just a small, like a 200cc type of bike, just to get the confidence to understand, the different gears, just how you do with, driving a car. So for me, then I think it's, you do it at your own pace. We all not the same. For me, it took time for me to be confident because I started on these small little bikes. And then when I got my Harley, I couldn't even move it. So, because it was so intimidating, it's a heavy bike. So you just have to be so, strong as well physically, because it helps the fact that I exercise. I used to do spinning. So that helps as well. But I think
To
then,
keep your legs
start,
strong and your butt strong and your core
yeah,
strong for your back, eh?
yes. Yeah,
Mm.
but also besides that, it's all individualized. But I think, if you do the lessons, it is doable, and also depending on the choice of bike that you want. But Harley's a wonderful bike, so yeah, it's nice. The sound, it's sexy. It sits on the road. It's heavy, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. And you look good and you turn heads, and then you've got all the other good things that you've mentioned. So Val, thank you very, very much. So ladies and gentlemen, that was our Harley Babe, Valerie Mdluli. And I'm sure our guests have loved every single minute. It's really been inspiration and really interesting. So thank you so much, Val. And I don't know if you've got some last final words for our listeners.
No, actually not, but thank you so much for the opportunity and, for other potential bikers or other people to get to understand, what a biker's lifestyle is. And yeah, so I'm honored and I'm looking forward to connecting with people who might be interested in starting to ride. Thank you so much for
Then
the
Val,
opportunity.
how would they get all, if people are interested and they want to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
On Facebook, I think I've shared with you the Facebook handle, or on Twitter, but mainly I am on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. And also remember, I've got 3 names, so Valerie Shelley Zanele Mdluli.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. Take care.